As always, the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. Thank you all so kindly for checking out this exclusive on Wednesday night. On tonight's episode, we're going to be covering the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view that's going to be coming our way live this Sunday, only on pay-per-view from the U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix, Arizona. And just how fitting is that, folks, as in just less than 90 days, TNA is going to be coming by those grounds for their Bound for Glory pay-per-view. But more on that as the time draws near. Tonight, the focus, the attention is going to be on WWE as they bring to us Money in the Bank. During the course of tonight's show, we're going to be tackling each match that's going to be happening at the pay-per-view. As it's that time, once again, it is time for our Call That Match special edition. And what better way to get ready for the Money in the Bank pay-per-view, folks, than by tackling each match that's going to be happening, where I'm going to be putting on my thinking cap as a writer and my thinking cap as a booker. So I'm going to be wearing two hats, and I'm going to try to figure out who will be the winners of their respective matches and what possible angles you might be able to expect. Now, I did atrocious on our last Call That Match special. Now, ever since we have been doing these Call That Match specials, I have been pretty much on point. I've done a phenomenal job, but with the Call That Match special that was recently done for the TNA Destination X pay-per-view, I suffered my worst defeat. I did not get anything right on the Destination X pay-per-view. Hey, it's always cool when opposite things happen, I feel, as it just makes a pay-per-view even more interesting. So I'm still going to be looking to redeem myself, and what better way to redeem myself than by putting on my thinking cap with this pay-per-view. So on that note, folks, let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. So we have for our pre-show that's going to be kicking off 30 minutes before the actual pay-per-view, which can be seen on WWE's channel over on YouTube.com. You'll also be able to see it on Facebook as well. We have Kofi Kingston and R-Truth taking on Hunico and Camacho, just a regular tag team match. Now, this match, we have to bear in mind that there's really no storyline behind this. This is just pretty much a matchup that's just being thrown together, if you will. Now, we have to bear in mind that the last time WWE did a pre-show, it actually didn't do too well, as I believe it was Brodus Clay who defeated David Otunga by countout. Now, they really didn't receive that many views for their pre-show. They had averaged at a max probably about 48,000 views. So they're definitely going to be looking to probably have those numbers a little bit higher up. I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to do it with their pre-show this Sunday, but this match is what it is. This is going to be our pre-show to get us ready for the pay-per-view. Now, keeping in mind what I just said a few seconds ago, there really hasn't been that much of a storyline, practically no storyline at all, between Kofi, R-Truth, and Hunico and Camacho. For those of you that have been watching Raw, you've been watching SmackDown, you guys know that there really hasn't been anything going on between these four men, so it's really hard to put an investment into watching this match, but it should be an entertaining match nonetheless. I would have to give the edge to Kofi Kingston and R-Truth, because we have to keep in mind, folks, that we got the prime time players, Darren Young and Titus O'Neil, who are just lurking in the shadows waiting for their opportunity to take on the tag team champions and take those belts off of them. Remember, they are the number one contenders right now, as they had won that tournament at the No Way Out pay-per-view last month. So they are just waiting patiently for their opportunity to take on the tag champions. So keeping that in mind, I definitely see Kofi Kingston and R-Truth picking up the victory here. What I would kind of like to see happen, though, leading up to these four men getting it on, I wouldn't mind seeing Kofi and R-Truth possibly bump into the primetime players in a little bit of a backstage skit. Maybe there could be some heated exchange of words. Maybe there could be a little bit of a physical throwdown that gets broken up. Just put a little something out there for the viewers to let them know, hey, we haven't forgotten about this feud. We haven't forgotten about these four men. These four men definitely are still going to be getting it on at some point. So don't be too surprised if you happen to see the primetime players make a cameo appearance. But with regards to the pre-show, I'm definitely going to be looking for Kofi and R-Truth for the victory. Now, let's go next to our Money in the Bank ladder match for the WWE Championship contract. Remember, whoever wins that Money in the Bank briefcase, once they climb to the top of that ladder and they grab that briefcase, they get a WWE contract that is good for a year. They can take on the champion at any place, anytime, doesn't matter. For this match, we have Big Show taking on Kane, taking on Chris Jericho, taking on John Cena, as it's going to be a fatal four-way. Now, just thinking about what all had transpired within recent weeks on WWE Raw, it looked as if Big Show was going to possibly be the one to get that WWE contract. But from what we have seen on the latest episode of WWE Raw, where John Cena basically buried Big Show and he buried everybody else, you can't help but kind of say to yourself, well, then it possibly is going to be John Cena that's going to be winning this match, yes? Well, let's really break it down for you all. Now, let's start with Big Show. Big Show, he has been on a phenomenal roll as of late, ever since he had crossed paths with John Laurinaitis and he signed that fat contract, that awesome contract that is giving him millions and millions of dollar bills, and he has just been unstoppable. Now, this man, at some points, he has taken out half of the WWE roster. This man has just been knocking out his competition left and right. But we finally see this giant fall at the hands of John Cena on this past Monday Night's Raw. So you, on the one hand, can appreciate how WWE is finally trying to really give the Big Show that push that he deserves. Yet you kind of come off saying to yourself, Big Show, Father Time's caught up with him. He's really starting to get up there in age. He's already been to the dance before as a champion. Why would he need another run now as champion? Let's not forget that infamous run he had when he was the ECW champion. Let's not forget about that run he had when he was the World Heavyweight Champion. Both of which he did a phenomenal job doing, I feel. But with regards to possibly winning the Money in the Bank contract, I just do not see this happening. You are led to believe that it's possibly going to be between Big Show and John Cena. If you really think about it and you evaluate everything that you've seen within recent weeks. But sadly, it's not going to be Big Show. That I can assure you. Now, let's go with Kane. Kane is just like Big Show. Kane has accomplished so much in the WWE. Tag team specialist, as he's won the tag title multiple times. Kane, he has just really been kind of floating around a bit ever since he's returned. Yet he's produced some pretty decent matches since he's returned with the wig and he's returned with the new costume and the mask. He had a pretty good feud there with Randy Orton. He had a pretty good feud there with John Cena, as their ambulance match, it had quickly made the top John Cena 50 greatest matches of all time. So Kane going into this match, he would probably be a true underdog in this match, as let's not forget, it's been almost 14 years since Kane has held the WWE title. You would think that maybe, just maybe, Kane, the odds might be in the Big Red Monster's favor, but I just do not see Kane getting that contract. I just don't. I know there's probably a lot of hardcore Kane fans that are out there. Sorry, Kane fans, I just do not see Kane getting this. I think the way Kane has been utilized since he's returned, he's just going to continue to be utilized like that. I see no indication whatsoever that WWE is even remotely interested in having Kane be a champion once again. I think the only way Kane will be a WWE champion, or a World Heavyweight champion for that matter, is if they lose a lot of stars that go out on injury, or they violate the wellness policy program. That's the only way I can see Kane quickly moving up the ranks. Same thing with Big Show. So with regards to Kane, it's just not happening. Chris Jericho. I love Chris Jericho. I've been a fan of Chris Jericho for many, many years now. Followed his work in WCW, followed his work in ECW, followed his work in the WWE. Longtime Jericho-holic fan right here is basically what I'm saying, folks. Unfortunately, I do not see the Fozzy frontman, the Ayatollah of rock and rolla, getting this WWE contract. Remember, folks, Jericho, he's only going to be sticking around for probably another month, as he's going to be looking to probably wrap things up by SummerSlam, or just a little bit after SummerSlam, as Fozzy is going to be getting ready to put out their new album, Sin and Bones, and they're going to be going on tour. Now, it's being rumored that Jericho may possibly return after he's done touring. Hey, we'll definitely stay on top of that and let you guys know the very latest as information becomes available. But with Chris Jericho on his way out the door, it doesn't really make sense for him to get the WWE contract. Now, it would be a really fun angle if you think about it. Jericho wins the contract, and then we eventually see him take his little break, do his thing with Fozzy, and he just pops up from time to time, reminding us that he still holds the contract, that at any time he can cash it in. That would be pretty freaking awesome. I mean, that's a really good angle right there, but I don't think WWE would be willing to do something like that. It would be very fresh. It would be very unique. I would love to see something like that happen, as it would be a first to have a WWE talent not really be involved with the company, and they're just popping up randomly. I think that would be pretty awesome, but I just don't see WWE willing to go down that route. I don't think they are capable of thinking that route, of entertaining that route. So keeping everything that's been going on with Jericho, it's a no-brainer. Jericho, he's not going to get the contract. So we now go to John Cena. Now, John Cena, he has not held the WWE title for more than a year. And folks, on that note, as well as many other notes that I'm going to be going into in just a little bit, John Cena is definitely going to be the one to get the WWE contract from this ladder match, I feel, because on top of him not having the WWE title for a year, let's also not forget that John Cena suffered his worst beating at the hands of The Rock at this past year's WrestleMania. Then he was in a grueling match with Brock Lesnar. Then we had John Cena work that program with Kane, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to have my wrestlers mixed up, but I want to say Kane possibly had defeated John Cena at a pay-per-view. My memory's a little bit shady on that, so don't quote me on that. But basically, the point that I'm trying to get to is that John Cena has been put through a lot within recent months, and he's just been doing a phenomenal job trying to put other people over. This is his payoff right now, I feel. And keeping in mind that as long as John Cena has been in the WWE, which is 10 plus years, John Cena has never won Money in the Bank. How that is even possible that he has never been involved in Money in the Bank, getting that contract, who knows? But it is what it is. Money in the Bank has eluded him for all these years. Now he's finally involved in it. On that note, I'm going to go with the white horse. I'm going to go with the C Nation leader, John Cena. Now, what you can expect from John Cena winning this match, I feel, is that John Cena isn't going to be waiting a year. I don't really see that happening. I think what's going to be happening is it's going to be a first too. I think we're going to see John Cena immediately cash in that contract at SummerSlam to set himself up for a match against the WWE champion. Mark my words, John Cena is going to be looking to cash in that briefcase on the WWE champion at SummerSlam. So with that, I'm going with John Cena. Let's move on to our next match on the card, which sees the WWE Championship being defended by the voice of the voiceless, CM Punk, as he takes on Daniel Bryan with special guest referee AJ. Now, we've seen everything that has been transpiring between these two men involving AJ within recent weeks, and we saw what had occurred on the last episode of Raw, where AJ smacked the taste out of both of these guys' mouths as she's standing there in the ring, just really coming off like a loose cannon, as now there's really no telling what direction she may go, as it appears as though she may be calling this match right. She may be calling it right down the middle. No shenanigans in between. So this match, guys, we're going to have a freaking 5-star quality type of match right here. These guys are going to be looking to top what they did at the Over the Limit pay-per-view. That I can promise you. It's going to be a very entertaining match, and just the fact that AJ has been thrown into the mix as well, that makes things even more interesting. I don't see AJ playing a critical role until it gets right down to the final seconds of the bout. Now, we have heard within recent weeks that WWE Creative, they were seriously thinking about putting the belt on Daniel Bryan, but that at the very last second, they decided, let's go with CM Punk. This is one of those type of deals right now where, as much as I have loved the momentum that Daniel Bryan has been building up ever since that humiliating 15-second loss to Sheamus at WrestleMania 28, I just don't see Daniel Bryan getting the belt on this night. I don't see it happening. Would I love to see it happen? Yes, I would. I'd love to be proved wrong. I would love to see Daniel Bryan get the belt, but I just don't see it happening. I just feel that if he were to get the WWE title, it would probably be sometime after SummerSlam, I feel. So I definitely see CM Punk retaining the title. Now, in what direction might CM Punk go next? Well, if you remember, I said John Cena was probably going to be cashing in that Money in the Bank contract at SummerSlam. So I see John Cena versus CM Punk 2 for SummerSlam. I think that's what's going to be happening right there. You just think about those two names on paper and you involve the pay-per-view SummerSlam, which is one of their second biggest pay-per-views of the year. That's a draw right there. Let's make it happen. So on that note, with regards to CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan, I see CM Punk retaining. I can still picture Daniel Bryan trying to wiggle his way into getting another title shot opportunity. And who knows, maybe it could be a scenario where the SummerSlam main event could be a triple threat. Maybe we could see CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan versus John Cena. I wouldn't mind seeing that. I'm sure a lot of other people wouldn't mind seeing that as well. But I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Daniel Bryan still be involved in the title chase, just to keep his feud with CM Punk going. Sweet little AJ, it should be very interesting to see what'll happen afterwards. Maybe it could be a scenario where Daniel Bryan, he is just blaming AJ for costing him the loss, and she just smacks the taste out of his mouth again, and she just continues being the loose cannon that she is. But CM Punk, I got him retaining the WWE Championship. Now let's go on to our next match, which is the Money in the Bank ladder match for the World Heavyweight Championship contract. Now, in this match, we have Damien Sandow versus Tyson Kidd versus Christian versus Santino versus Tensai versus Cody Rhodes versus Dolph Ziggler versus Sin Cara. This is going to be one of those matches that I feel has the capabilities of being the show stealer for the night, because Damien Sandow, Tyson Kidd, I mean, just all of these guys that are in here, they are phenomenal wrestlers. They put on a fantastic show every single time they get in the ring. Well, Santino is a little bit more comedy. Tensai, he's got that slow mechanical style, so I really wouldn't count those two guys. But everybody else is damn impressive when they get in that ring. So let's really break this down and let's really look at who definitely has a shot at winning the World Heavyweight contract. Let's start with Sin Cara. Sin Cara, he's recently returned. As we all know, he is Triple H's little pet project. He is the answer to Rey Mysterio, who will eventually be retiring. Well, Sin Cara, he still makes several WWE wrestlers feel a little bit uncomfortable when they have to work with him, as the lights are all dim and he's got that unique lucha libre style. He's still trying to get grounded with the way WWE does things in the ring, but Sin Cara, I still feel that he is just nowhere ready right now. On that note, I don't see Sin Cara getting it. I know Triple H loves him some Sin Cara, but I just don't see Sin Cara getting the title. So let's go next with Lord Tensai. Lord Tensai, he's been doing a little bit better, as we have fans that have died down on the Albert chants within recent weeks. Now they're just watching him, and they're pretty much being a little bit quiet as they see him in the ring. Tensai, that's another one. I just don't see him getting this. I don't see him winning this match. Nothing personal against Tensai. I love the work that he's been doing, even though I sometimes question the gimmick. But I have been starting to get used to the gimmick. I am no longer thinking about Albert. Probably the only time I think about his previous gimmicks is if somebody brings it up, and it's just for a few brief seconds that I'll think about those other gimmicks. But I'm sold on Tensai, but right now I just don't see Tensai getting it done. I think the bigger payoff for Tensai would be to work some type of a program with Tyson Kidd, which brings me to Tyson Kidd. This is a guy that has just been working really hard within recent months to better himself, and it's been paying off. You would think that of all the people in this match, Tyson Kidd, he definitely is the underdog, but I'm not really sure about Tyson Kidd. I know he stepped his game up with regards to improving his mic skills, and he's definitely come a long way. He's come a long way from the Tyson Kidd I remember that was walking around pushing the Heart Foundation type trunks and the weird little mohawk cut that he had. He's come a long way, but I just don't see him getting this contract. I just don't. So let's go with Christian now. Christian is the Intercontinental Champion. Christian, he just came back from an injury. I like that whole idea of a Intercontinental Champion holding another title, a World Heavyweight title. I like that picture, but I don't see Christian being that guy. Christian, I just feel he needs to continue putting over that Intercontinental title. So let's eliminate Christian right there. So now we're down to 3. We're down to Damien Sandow, Cody Rhodes, Dolph Ziggler. Let's go with Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes, he has been on one phenomenal roll, but 2012 has not been too kind for the son of Dusty Rhodes, WWE Hall of Famer. Hasn't been too kind for him as he dropped the title to Christian, and he recently had lost to the Big Show at WrestleMania before that. So hasn't been too kind of a 2012 first quarter wise for Cody Rhodes. And it seems that he's in a little bit of a funk right now. I kind of see that streak continuing at Sunday's pay-per-view. If anything, I would actually like to see Cody Rhodes continue some type of a feud program with Christian. It wouldn't surprise me if Cody Rhodes and Christian, they spent more time focusing on each other in this ladder match than as opposed to trying to get that contract. So unfortunately, as much as I love Cody Rhodes, even when he was dashing Cody Rhodes, I've gotta say no for Cody Rhodes. It's not gonna be him. So we're left with Dolph Ziggler, Damien Sandow. Let me go with Damien Sandow for a second there. Damien Sandow, phenomenal wrestler. I love how this guy comes out, and he has just really been throwing it down. I have been sold on this guy ever since I saw his SmackDown vignettes hyping up his eventual appearance to the SmackDown roster. I've been behind this guy since day one. I love this guy. He is phenomenal. I love everything that he does in the ring. He's got that old throwback style to him. He reeks of wrestling how it was in the 80s, and I just love that vibe that I get when I look at him. I love it. I love the insult to injury that he does when he beats the hell out of an opponent, where he does a cartwheel. I just think that's very insulting, and I just think that's totally awesome. Damien Sandow, if you ask me honestly, I would love to see Damien Sandow win. I think that he definitely has proved that he has what it takes. He just has one of those promising careers right now where if he just continues to do what he does and he makes sure that he doesn't get injured, he's definitely going to be either a World Heavyweight Champion or a WWE Champion early 2013. But as much as I love Damien Sandow, I don't quite feel as though he's ready. I know that's an understatement because he's been doing everything right so far. He's been on point. I want to see how he does if he works with bigger names, because right now, that's the point where I'm at right now. I'm ready to see him start working with bigger names to really see if he can hold his ground and continue to be entertaining. Right now, I can't go with Damien Sandow, so that leaves me with Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, he's been a former one-time World Heavyweight Champion. So he's been to the dance before. Dolph Ziggler, he's never won Money in the Bank the few times that he has participated in it. Not only that, but Dolph Ziggler has just continued to go in night after night, no matter what, whether it's picking up the wins or he has to suffer a defeat to try to put somebody else over. And we've seen him do that within recent weeks. He has still put on one hell of a show. And he is just one of those guys that continues to get a bigger fan base week after week after week. This is Dolph Ziggler's time. This is his match. This is his moment, I feel. I've got to go with Dolph Ziggler to win the Money in the Bank ladder match and get that World Heavyweight contract. I see exactly that. That's what's going to happen. Now, when is he going to cash in that title? That I have no idea. If I were a betting man, I would say Dolph Ziggler would probably do this maybe by the end of the year, early next year. I don't see him doing it at WrestleMania. I see him doing it just a little bit before. And I see him becoming the World Heavyweight Champion and having the title going into that year's WrestleMania to defend it. But I definitely see him winning this match. I definitely see him cashing it in a little bit later on. Would I like to see him cash it in immediately? Yeah, I would. But with the latest reports that's going around right now that Alberto Del Rio is supposed to be getting a title run very shortly, I definitely don't see Dolph Ziggler within the remaining of this calendar year. I don't see him getting that World Heavyweight title. The only way I see Dolph Ziggler getting that title earlier is if Alberto Del Rio, he defeats Sheamus, and WWE, they aren't pleased with what they see of his work as they evaluate him for a few months as the World Heavyweight Champion, and they decide, let's go ahead, let's take the belt off of him, and then you bring in Dolph Ziggler that way to take the belt off of him. Unless you have something like that happen, that's the only way I see Dolph Ziggler becoming champion even earlier. So until then, it is what it is, but I'm going to go with Dolph Ziggler for the win right there. Alright, let's move on to our last match, which sees Sheamus, the World Heavyweight Champion, defending his title against Alberto Del Rio. Now, I've been paying very close attention to this match, and I love the program that these two guys have been working. It's been phenomenal. It's been very entertaining, I feel. It's been making SmackDown interesting, let me say. So this match is definitely going to be a very physical match. Remember, we have Vince McMahon that sat up and told Alberto Del Rio a little while back that he needed to work on his character a little bit more, fine-tune it a little bit. He wanted to see Alberto Del Rio display more aggression, and he's been doing a little bit of a decent job putting out that aggression. Still kind of feels like the same Alberto Del Rio we've always been seeing, though. So, does Sheamus have a serious threat on his hands? Is it very possible that Sheamus could walk out of Phoenix, Arizona without his title? Yeah, it's highly possible. Let's not forget now, Alberto Del Rio, he pretty much pulled my groin, it's injured. That's the story now, but in truth, he had a little bit of a fallout with WWE several weeks back, and as a result of that, he wasn't even involved at the WWE No Way Out pay-per-view, as he had threatened. WWE said that, hey, he was going to be going back to Mexico. He doesn't feel that he's getting the push that he deserves. He wants more, and WWE, they're trying everything. They're doing everything possible to please him, to keep him happy, to make him stay in the WWE, as they realize that they need Alberto Del Rio. It's his name that they need because they want to try to pull in that Mexican, Latin, Hispanic audience. So they're trying to do everything they can to please Del Rio. So, keeping all that in mind, folks, it is highly, highly possible that Sheamus could walk away without that title. So, bearing that in mind and bearing everything that recently had transpired with Alberto Del Rio and his early little exit from WWE, and then everything was squashed weeks later, I don't know, man. This is a match where I'm really concerned because WWE, they have been trying very hard to make Sheamus be their man. But now you have what's been going on with Del Rio. It's a very interesting scenario that you have going on here, and I'm definitely on the fence when I look at these two guys, and I'm having a hard time picking a winner. But we have to pick a winner here on our Call That Match special. So honestly, if you would ask me what I would like to see, I would like to see Sheamus for the title defense, and he just continues to work his program with Alberto Del Rio, and maybe they could collide again. And then at SummerSlam, Alberto Del Rio wins the World Heavyweight title. That sounds pretty damn good, doesn't it, folks? So you know what? Let's go with that. I'm going to go with Sheamus for the title win over Alberto Del Rio. Now, let's put a pending by that, though. Don't be surprised if Del Rio wins the belt. Remember what I said had occurred, as these two were originally supposed to lock it up at No Way Out, but Del Rio backed out because he was having some contract problems or whatever. So, keeping that in mind, don't be too surprised if Del Rio walks out of there with the title. But for this Call That Match special, I'm going to be going with Sheamus for the retain, because I feel the bigger payoff would be for Del Rio to get the belt at SummerSlam. And there you have it, folks. That is going to be our picks here for the Call That Match special. So let's go ahead and let's recap. For the pre-show, I have Kofi Kingston and R-Truth defeating Hunico and Camacho. For the WWE Championship ladder match, I have John Cena picking up the win. For the WWE Championship, I have CM Punk retaining. For the Money in the Bank ladder match, for the World Heavyweight Championship contract, I have Dolph Ziggler picking up the win there. And for our main event match for the World Heavyweight title, I have Sheamus retaining. That's going to do it, folks. We definitely want to know your picks, who all you feel are going to win at the respected pay-per-view coming up this Sunday. Feel free to submit your predictions down below the video description. And hey, if you are on point, we will definitely give you a shout out live on the air, as we'll be doing a WWE Money in the Bank Post Show that'll come on live immediately following the pay-per-view. You'll be able to check out that episode live at 11 p.m. Eastern over on blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR Show. Once again, that's at blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR Show. You'll be also able to listen to that same episode live over at our sister website at infinityOneProductions.com. Feel free to send us your comments, your match predictions. You can also send us your predictions over on Twitter. That's right, we're up on Twitter. Hit us up at InfinityOneProd, and we're on Facebook at Infinity One Productions. That's going to do it for this special edition of the RCWR Show. Call That Match special. Do hope that you join us this Sunday immediately after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view for the post show, as we'll be sharing with you reactions. I'll give you my analysis, breakdown of the pay-per-view, overall thoughts of the pay-per-view, whether or not it did the deed, whether or not it was a excellent pay-per-view or if it was a bad pay-per-view. I'll definitely be chiming in my thoughts with you. We'll also open up our wrestling fan line where we'll get reaction from the fans that saw the pay-per-view. You don't want to miss it, so make sure that you check that episode out immediately after the WWE Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Until I hear from you all this Sunday for the RCWR Post Show, I am as always the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. You all be safe and you all be kind to one another. See you this Sunday, folks. Take care.